Hey everyone, I'm going to do this in one go here. This topic is new, but it doesn't involve any new math. So we are covering now the angle of elevation and the angle of depression. So this is using trigonometric ratios in real world problems. So all the math that you learned in class yesterday and today is going to be used here. So if it's the angle of elevation, this happens when you're looking up at an object, and the angle of elevation is formed by the line of sight and a horizontal line. Okay, so line of sight, I'll go ahead and highlight this. This is the line of sight, and the line of sight and the horizontal line forms the angle of elevation, which is here. So let's go ahead and draw a picture to solve number 1. So number 1 says, Casey sights the top of an 84-foot tall lighthouse at an angle of elevation of 58. If Casey is 6 feet tall, how far is he standing from the base of the lighthouse? Okay, so if we have a lighthouse, right, I don't know, there's a lighthouse, right, it's shining light. And Casey is 6 feet tall. There's Casey. The lighthouse is 84 feet. Obviously not drawn to scale. And the angle of elevation from Casey's line of sight to the top of the lighthouse is 58 degrees. So this is 58. Okay, we're going to have to do some subtraction here to find his line of sight to the top of the lighthouse, right? And I did say not to scale. So this distance here is 84 feet minus his 6 feet tall. So 84 minus 6 is 78. All right, so taking away all of the picture that is a little bit crazy, I have a right triangle that looks something like this. This is 58 degrees, okay? And we're given opposite of 58 is 78. And we're trying to find how far he is standing from the base of the lighthouse. So that's our horizontal distance. Okay, so we are given the opposite and the adjacent, not the hypotenuse. Okay, so we're going to use tangent. Tangent of 58 equals opposite over adjacent. This is the one where we have x in the denominator. So don't forget, when we have x in the denominator, we have to remove it from the denominator by multiplying by x on both sides. And we have x times tangent of 58 equals 78. Okay, and then to get rid of the multiplication here, x is being multiplied by tangent of 58. We divide by tangent of 58 on both sides. Okay, so x equals 78 divided by tangent of 58. This is not new math. 78 divided by the tangent of 58. I'll go ahead and plug that into my calculator. $78 divided by, let me put this in parentheses, tangent of 58. Forgot how to use this. Okay. Equals 48.7. So I have 48.7 feet. Okay, let's do another one with number 4. So I'll do an easy one and a hard one. So number 4 says, a dog is standing 5 feet from the base of a tree. All right, I'm going to draw a tree. So here we go. There's my tree. And here's my dog. It's 5 feet from the base. Looking up, at a cat that has climbed 16 feet up in the tree. So here's my kitty cat. And it's 16 feet in the tree. What is the angle of elevation from the point the dog is standing on the ground to the cat? So we're trying to find the angle of elevation. All right, so this one's pretty easy to solve. I'll go ahead and draw in my triangle a little bit darker. So I'm trying to find my angle, and I'm given the opposite and the adjacent. So if I have the opposite and the adjacent, I know I'm going to use tangent. Okay, so tangent of my angle, which we'll call x, equals opposite over adjacent, 16 over 5. Okay, and we know that if we want to find x, we have to get rid of tangent, and we do that by taking the inverse tangent of 16 divided by 5. Okay, so inverse tangent of 16 divided by 5. 16 divided by 5 inverse tangent. All right. Nope, I did that wrong. 16 divided by 5 inverse tangent. Did it wrong again. Hang on, guys. 16 divided by 5 equals 3.2. And if I want to take the inverse tangent, I'll press second tangent, 72.6. All right, there we go. That seems like a reasonable degree measure. 72.64, 72.6 degrees. You guys are going to do number 2 and 3. And now we're moving on to the angle of depression. Okay, and the angle of depression is the exact same thing as the angle of elevation, but with a different type of word problem. Okay, so you're kind of going to think of doing angle of elevation backwards here. It says when you're looking down at an object, the angle of depression is formed by an observer's line of sight and a horizontal line. Okay, so this is my angle of depression here. And I have a right triangle, it's just upside down. So it says the angle of depression is congruent to the angle of elevation because they are alternate interior angles, right? So if we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, okay, the angle of depression and the angle of elevation